What is up guys, it is Simba here and welcome back to the channel for another league racing video. This is round number 10 for the British Grand Prix, my home race, and we have passed the halfway point of this SLR season. As you can see in the championship, it's not looking great. It's not been what we wanted so far. We are currently 13th in the championship and we are quite a way off Williams in the constructors, but the second half of the season is well and truly in full swing. And if you haven't seen the last video, go and check it out. It was the French Grand Prix, round number 9, and that video's been up for a while, so if you haven't seen it already, go check it out. And if you go on to enjoy this video, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more league racing content. I try and upload league racing videos every single week, and I stream these live on my Twitch, which you'll find down in the description as well. So, admin work out of the way, we are about to finish our first lap in qualifying, and we crossed the line to do a 27.1. That
could be worse.
And you can hear, I'm not particularly happy with it. As I say, it could be worse. We want to be doing a 26 around this track if we want to be competitive. You can see we've dropped down to P10, and this is our last shot to try and solidify a top 10 place for the sprint race. As you can tell by the thumbnail, it is a sprint weekend, so qualifying is going to be quite important if you want to make progress here this weekend. Going into turn number 1, flat out, 8th gear, clip the apex on the right, and now down towards turn 3 and 4. 4th gear, we don't really nail that corner, we completely go wide in the exit, and that really puts us off for turn 4. We still get good traction out of the corner, and we've been really struggling to nail the first sector in this qualifying session. At the moment, you can see we're just under a quarter of a tenth down, and that is a mid-0.4 first as we miss the apex at Brooklands and through Luffield. We're just sending it at this point, short shifting up to 5th gear quite early, and yeah, it's been quite scruffy. A good first sector would be a 0.3, and if you really are cracked around that first sector, you want to be doing a 0.2, but we're going to push on anyway through Cops. We go, nicely done, we gain some time back, so once again we're really just fighting with the delta here. Through Maggots and Beckett's now, down to 7th, down to 6th through Chapel. We clipped the curb quite a lot there, and it's not been too great. We're only a quarter, 3/4 of a tenth up as we do a 3.2 in the middle sector, which isn't great. You want to try and get into the 0.1s and the 0.0 as if you're really cracked around there. But as we go through the final chicane, through Vale now, 4th gear, clip the apex, up to 5th gear through the final corner, and towards the line we go. We actually clip the curb, we spin across the line, and it's a 27.0, and we stay P10, and eventually we drop down to P12. Not great. If we actually nailed the lap properly, my PB was a 26.8, mid-0.8, and we would have been P6 ahead of our teammate Medal. So P12 for the sprint. Let's see if we can turn this around.
Let's go to work.
Nice one. That's going to give you the edge if you can get good launch as the race starts.
Go to work.
Go to work. Evo. And you can hear me say, go to work. That's exactly what we're going to try and do in the sprint race. We've got our work cut out for us as we are underway for the sprint race. And watch this start. We get an unreal launch off the line. Our teammate is going absolutely nowhere. We're 3 wide. We're going into the first corner, and we get through everyone, and we've gained 4 places. So in the space of 3 corners, we've gone from 12th into the points as the top 8 score points in the sprint race. You can see Sora making a bit of contact with Midzi, but as we go through towards the Wellington strike, there's even more contact with Ham and Elite Risks. Ham and Elite taking each other out. And you can hear me say there, Ham and Elite have taken each other out, and we are up into P6. So I couldn't have asked for a better start. That is probably one of the best starts I've ever made in a league race ever. As meanwhile, Roller is up the inside going into Stowe, and he gets ahead of us.
Fucking doesn't do that all the time for practice, and it does it now.
That start was okay. Now stay alert for threats around you.
Yeah, just doing the same for what I usually did, and it just let go.
But as much as we've made progress, our teammate isn't as lucky. Medal has gone for a spin on the opening lap. He was already down the order because of such a poor start, because he had the host start. But yeah, he didn't use it properly. Meanwhile, we get hit up the rear.
Brother, I don't know what is wrong with him.
Trying to not be.
And you can hear I'm getting quite frustrated with the Ferrari of Louis. He wants our P7, but he's really aggressive for it as we defend the inside into Stowe. And we stay ahead for the time being. He goes wide on the exit and he's already got a penalty.
DRS now available.
And you can hear Mark say DRS has been enabled as we pick up our second warning for track limits. Because we got one on the first lap. Meanwhile, Ham's out of the race and we've got a safety car.
Now, just be careful.
Right, we can. How's he done it there?
Okay, slow down, slow down. Your delta's negative, which means you're going too fast. Reduce your pace.
I've got a second warning if I do that.
Oh no, it's Hecky. Yeah, Hecky just put I'm sorry in the chat.
And you can hear Medal say it might have been Hecky involved, as he says that Hecky actually apologised in the McKeown chat on our Discord. Maybe he caused a collision with Ham. I'm not too sure, but Ham's weekend is completely ruined. He qualified third, and now he is down to last for the main race. Meanwhile, me and Roller have an opportunity to pick up places because of the two Ferraris of Louis and Sora. They might fall out of the points. So me and Roller are looking at P5 and P6 because of penalties as we get underway again.
The fucking bomb, mate. Go. Oh, you fucking Welsh bastard.
And you can hear Medal getting annoyed as meanwhile we are close with Louis again.
Oh.
Louis, mate.
Really is just
Okay, clear.
loose to the Marsh's mum. Fucking hell.
And you can hear Medal continuing to rant about the situation that he's in. He's not having a good sprint race as we almost get a third warning.
My man is unhinged.
And then you can hear me calling Louis unhinged as both McLaren drivers are getting really frustrated as, you know, it's proving to be quite tough racing with the guys at the moment. And you can just sense that a collision is bound to happen between me and Louis as we move on to lap 7. 3 laps to go. We're still P7. We are losing touch with Roller and DRS might just be enabled by now. But Louis not giving this up. He's down the inside.
Don't cut across an Evo.
You know what? He just hit me. You know what? I'm not even surprised. I saw it coming. I saw it coming. He's getting a fucking penalty. Fucking
Look at that.
Brilliant.
Easy position.
I'm going the inside.
Can I? Oh, scared. Mum, please. Mum, scared.
I could see it coming, right? I'm not surprised.
Look at that.
What a tosser.
Lovely stuff.
Unbelievable.
And just like that, all of our progress has just been undone. In one moment, we are down to P14. We've got elite risks ahead of us now as he goes wide. He's been struggling with track limits quite a bit as he gets a 3-second penalty as soon as I say that. So risks not having a good weekend after having that collision with Ham. But on to the last lap now. We're going to keep pushing to see if we can get anything out of this race.
What is this? What is this fucking train?
Crowding. It's
Oh, I've been hit. Of course it'd be him. Of course it'd be him.
Oh, that is a love. That is lovely.
Go on, Charlie.
That is a piece
Let's
of
make it
art.
happen, mate.
Oh, man. Brazil all over again as well.
What the fuck is that? I bombed you from like 4/10 back.
And you can hear Medal and Darren laughing their asses off as Darren, of course, he's been taken out on the last lap of the sprint by Hecky. You just couldn't write it in the stars even if you tried. We're trying to challenge Charlie on this last lap. Crowding has got a penalty as he had a qualifying ban and tried to move his way up the field. He's going to get sent back a few places because everyone is so close. Archer's won the sprint race on his debut and we are back to square one.
Well, back to square one, champ.
So there you go. We end up P12 in the sprint. We could have maybe got P6 if not for the collision with Louis, but we've still got 26 laps to try and salvage something in this weekend. So here we go, time for the main event of the weekend, the British Grand Prix. 26 laps ahead of us, you can see the strategy on screen, you guys know the score by now with the tyre strategy, and we are going to try and turn things around. It's time for our home race in Silverstone, And we are underway for the British Grand Prix, and we're looking to see if we can get a better start, but we almost put it in the wall by ourselves, as Elite Risk is looking to make progress going into turn 1.
Elite.
Oh, okay, what was that? What the hell was that?
Absolute carnage on the opening lap.
God.
Elite Risks has taken out himself and another 2 cars in the first corner. So a disastrous start for them. Meanwhile,
Let me explain to you what happened. Elite came to cut across me. I was sat in the middle with Charlie on my outside or someone on my outside, and he turned into them. That's a, oh, okay. Guys.
What the hell's going on?
Crowding door 994.
and Medal's luck just doesn't seem to get any better. He's involved with another collision with Evo down into Lovefield. So absolute carnage, and we've gained 3 places, and we're up into P9. But crucially, ahead of us, Riggsy is up into P6. So the main priority now is we have to make sure we get this AlphaTauri out of the way as soon as possible, so we can try and keep up with the top 5. Otherwise, it's going to be very hard to catch them, as DRS is so crucial around this track. It's usually a DRS train around Silverstone.
I almost went straight to the... Oh, crowding, mate.
And you can hear my absolute displeasure, realising that crowding is right behind us. He's looking to make progress from that qualifying band. There's a bit of contact there, and he sends it up the inside, going into Vale, and we stay ahead of the Mercedes driver. So he tries to send it again, but this time we're actually well prepared for it, and we stay ahead for the time being, as DRS has just been enabled. So now this is the crucial point of this race, and we'll have to do some following for quite some time, because, like I said earlier, it is a DRS train around Silverstone, and you want to be in that DRS. You need that DRS. Otherwise, it's going to be very hard to make any sort of progress for the rest of the Grand Prix. But we're still ahead of crowding for the time being. He's still coming at us. We're having to drain a lot more battery than we normally would want to as we defend into Brooklands. We go a bit wide and through Lovefield. We're still ahead of the Mercedes car, who just won't give up. He was still persisting with us.
Despite the higher positions, or you're gonna go down inside a cop.
Uh-oh.
You better back out.
Yeah, I've chosen life.
And you can hear my frustration there. As I say, I've chosen life. I'm not going to try and fight crowding, because normally that ends in pure tears, as he's pretty aggressive, even though he's one of the quicker guys in this division. So he moves up to P9, and we're down to P10, but we've still got DRS.
Where's Louis? Come.
And that was me talking to Elite Risks, and he's just told me that Louis is down the order, and you can hear me sounding like Fernando Alonso back in 2017 with Palmer. And yeah, I found out that he's down the order, so a bit of karma for taking us out there. But on to lap 7, Crowding and Sem have managed to pass the AlphaTauri of Riggsy, and now it's our turn to try and pass him, because we need to pass him in order to make some progress in this race and try and keep up with the top 6. But
what? He did it on purpose.
Okay, there's been an incident on track resulting in loose debris. Fortunately, the marshals have managed to keep
Evo's
it
on the
time,
medium.
and there are so far no plans for a safety car.
Gonna...
Check your MFD for a new
Wait, what do
strategy
you mean he's
option.
DNF on purpose?
Louis.
Did he actually?
It was the exit of
Okay,
Lovefield.
copy that.
On purpose.
Flipping heck.
He's such a tosser.
now, before I get into this any further, I don't know if he's actually done it on purpose or not, but apparently he has. But we don't know anything after this. So, lap 7, safety car deployed. We have a little bit of an indecisive moment there as Evo goes straight past us into the pit lane, but we're going to pit for medium tyres.
I mean,
Them's will drive through it.
Might as well give it a shot. It's the longest pit lane of the season. We might as well take the shot and pit now. Because how likely is there going to be a safety car?
That was a fantastic stop, faster than we were
And
expecting.
there is the logic behind it. So, there might not be another safety car. It's quite hard to cause a safety car around Silverstone, but judging from the thumbnail, the tyres are pretty dead. That's the risk we are going to be taking, by going onto medium tyres to the end of the Grand Prix. About the Louis thing on purpose, we don't actually know if he's done it on purpose, so I'm just putting it out there. If he did it on purpose, he did. If not, he didn't. So, I don't know. Don't know where to stand on that situation. Meanwhile, safety car coming in at the end of this lap. Our teammate, Medal, has decided to stay out on his hard tyres, so he's doing the McLaren boys proud right now by leading the Grand Prix. Merckx has also, in the sister AlphaTauri, he's also decided to stay out as well, so we might have some traffic in the way as we get underway again, racing in Silverstone, and we are right behind Rigsy still on lap 9, going on towards lap 10. Crowding is still right behind us, so we'll have to watch out for him as we go through turns 1 and 2. The main priority here is passing Rigsy. That is the only way we're going to keep up with the rest of the pack on the medium tyres, because we're basically racing them to the end of the Grand Prix. But meanwhile, crowding once again still persisting to pass us, and we don't put up a fight because there's genuinely no point trying to fight someone who is just really aggressive and spams his battery. You can see he's making a move on Rigsy as well, but meanwhile up front there's going to be some contact. Merckx is round, and just like that, his decision to stay out has completely come back to bite him, as crowding has basically just made up 3 places in the space of a couple of corners. But we have to watch out for Evo, because he's on hard tyres and he'll easily make it to the end of the race, so he'll be a lot quicker than us towards the end. You can see we got up the inside of Rigsy, trying to defend from Ham, who's actually attacking us as well, so we might lose a place here.
Oh shit.
Oh my god.
Oh no, I've hit him off. Oh shit, that is my fault. Hand up.
And unfortunately we've had another coming together with SLR Ham, and this one was my fault. I just oversteered into the side of his car and he's gone for a spin, and that has completely ruined his weekend. And yeah, I feel quite bad for it because we have respect for each other, but it's clearly not being translated on the track, which is a bit annoying. But on to lap 12, this is the opportunity we've been waiting for. We're going to try and pass Rigsy, going into Stowe, round the outside. We hold it in 5th gear, but the car wants to understeer away from us. But we keep it on the track. We're still side by side with the AlphaTauri. Up the inside into Vale. We'll have the outside line. We might have good drive here, and we do. And we are finally ahead of the AlphaTauri.
Oh, Evo's round.
Don't be a penalty.
2.1 seconds.
Alright then.
Meanwhile, SLR Evo has just gone for a spin round the last corner, so he might have just thrown away a big opportunity to score big points, knowing that he could score. He'll be having better tyres than everyone else towards the end of the Grand Prix.
Risking it, but I'm in now, yeah.
Good done, mate.
Good for 2 laps and they're done.
Cutting on to lap 16 now. Our teammate Medal is in the pitch. You can tell me saying, you can hear me tell him that he's done a good job on those tyres, and he'll have fresh mediums towards the end of the race. So he'll be one to watch out for as well. On to lap 17 now. Midzi is right behind us, and we don't really fight him as he spun on the first lap. He's actually doing well to come back through the field. So yeah, we let him go. He's a lot quicker. We learned our mistake from Imola, and we're going to see if we can stay within his DRS and see if he can drag us towards that top 7 fight as we stick with him for a lap onto lap 18 now. Still P9 at the moment, setting 2 personal bests towards the end of the lap, so our pace is quite decent behind the Red Bull driver as we stick within his DRS range.
Push now, we're boxing this lap.
What is happening here?
And again, Darren asking what on earth is going on, and what's going on is we've done our personal best on lap 18, and meanwhile Riggs and Elite Risks are fighting each other, so that's giving us some crucial breathing space between myself and the AlphaTauri and that train behind us. But unfortunately for us, on lap 19 we have missed out on DRS on the Red Bull, so he's going to carry on pushing and we're just in P9, so it looks like we're going to get 2 points in this race. But lap 20, a huge moment in this race. You can see the orange tyre icon is up on the screen on the bottom right, so that means the tyres have hit 60% and we've still got 6 laps to go. But Turner, Arch, Sora, I think, have all pitted for soft tyres. They don't think they can get to the end of the Grand Prix, so that means we are up into P6 in this British Grand Prix. So at this point you know what we have to do now? We have to keep going. We have to find a way to get to the end of the Grand Prix. As you can see, the pace isn't too bad. We've done a 30.9 as the tyres have hit 67% with just 5 laps to go. Lap 22, Roller and Crowding have also pitted for soft tyres. So that means we are up into P4 in this British Grand Prix. But we have to keep going. 4 laps to go in this race. We are just about 2.5 seconds behind SLR Jam, sorry. So if these tyres don't puncture and Jam gets a puncture, we could be in for a potential podium. But the pace has dropped off as we've done a 31.
Be careful, the tyres have deteriorated significantly at this point.
As our engineer Mark Priestley reminds us about the tyre wear situation, they've hit 70% now. This is going to be really close.
P5. So you would have been P6, I think.
So, 3 laps to go in this British Grand Prix. We are currently P4, and you can hear Darren talking to Charlie, who's also in the party, saying that you would have been P5 or P6. So, Charlie had a disconnection, and he was nursing his tyres towards the end of the race, and he would have had a lot more pace than most of the guys in front of us, including ourselves. So, Charlie has missed out on a big result here, as me and Darren are in the top 5 for the first time this season, but the tyres are reaching the limit. You can see us quickly scrolling through. We are really crawling around this track, trying to preserve the tyres as much as possible to try and get to the end of the race. But lap 25, something has happened to Darren.
No, punch up. Amazing. That's my luck.
Darren has got a puncture with just over a lap to go. We start the final lap of this race. The tyres have hit 80%. Evo is right on our gearbox. He's come back on the hard tyres.
Oh, don't risk it, please. Fuck me, he's trying to fucking fight me. What are you doing, man?
And you can hear my frustration because we know that Evo's tyres are in much better condition than ours as he goes through, but we're looking behind us rather than forwards.
Oh, hello, boy. Quick.
So we're halfway through the last lap of this race. You can hear me talking to Arch and Turn, who are also in the party, that they've caught up really quickly. And you can see the state of the tyres. They are absolutely gone. As I'm trying my best to try and make sure that we don't lose too much time and let these guys through as well.
Just trying to live.
And you can hear me say, we're just trying to live. As we're trying to get these tyres to the end of the race. We're so close to the finish now. As Arch and Turn are both passers going into Stowe.
I want to live.
And we are getting close to surviving this race. Ogween has fended off Midzi, who almost caught the Alfa Romeo to win the race. Meanwhile for us, this is going to be a point finish in the top 5.
Come on! Yes! Finally!
And you can hear the relief in my voice. Finally, a points finish that we can talk about here today. We finished P5 in the British Grand Prix after some serious time management was required and a lot of incidents around us as well also helped us up the order. So, finally, points on the board. We are the 7th highest scorer after a chaotic sprint weekend in Silverstone. And honestly, that is the shot on the arm and the injection that we need to really kickstart our season, because it's been quite a slow season for us, filled with bad luck and silly mistakes. So hopefully this could be the start of a turnaround in the second half of the seasons. But that is going to be the end of today's video. Subscribe to the channel for more league racing content. The next one is in Spa, so until then, take care, and I'll see you all in the next one.